What's going on, everyone? My name is Alpha, and today we're back with another Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Radical Red. For a very long time we're back on Radical Red, and today's challenge will be, can we beat Pokemon Radical Red using only Unova Pokemon? Now, we haven't done a Radical Red challenge in a little bit, but before we get into that, we have a sponsor for this video. This video is sponsored by Opera GX. Opera GX is the ultimate gaming browser. This browser is uniquely built to include features such as a CPU, RAM, and network limiter to optimize both gaming and browsing. The GX controller helps enhance performance on your PC when gaming, perfect for when you want to keep multiple tabs open or you don't want to lose them at all. This way you're able to keep your browser the way it is without it affecting your gaming performance, while the network limiter allows the user to limit the network bandwidth used on the Opera GX browser to gain performance in games and streams. Now, there's also a feature with the GX player that allows you to log into any music app in a browser, including Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music. This helps keep your favorite streaming service in one place and automatically pauses and unpauses for your convenience. There's also an integrated social media channel which allows you to chat quickly from your browser and keep your notifications manageable. And finally, Opera GX is also available on your mobile devices. It can be connected to your desktop version as well. So please click the link in the description or the pinned comment down below and install Opera GX. Thank you again for Opera GX for sponsoring this video. Let's get into the rules of this video. So Radical Red, just like always, we're not going to play on hardcore mode because I actually found more fun playing this game on regular mode opposed to hardcore mode. And we're going to put minimum grinding on. It feels better to not really worry about the EVs constantly. And as well, we gotta stick with only Unova Pokemon. We've done one for Kanto and Sinnoh so far. Unova needs some love, especially for the Diamond and Pearl remix releases. All the love is going to Sinnoh at the moment, so we gotta spread it out a little bit to Unova. And also, we're not gonna forget about the most important rule of every single challenge video. Every single Pokemon that I use will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments, so thank you so much for leaving a comment in the previous challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after a Pokemon in my future challenge videos, just drop it in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while you guys are down here, do not forget to leave a like, comment down below some challenge ideas just like this one, and subscribe if you guys are not already. Greatly helps my channel. Anyways, let's get into the challenge video itself. Alright, obviously we're not going to have a starter Pokemon that's a Unova Pokemon right now. We're going to have to pick up a Charmander for a placeholder as we head into Route 1 until we get Pokeballs. And when we do get Pokeballs in Route 1, we're able to get ourselves a Panpour. Eventually, because this takes a very long time to encounter for some reason. Panpour is a 1%. Does not feel like 1%. Feels like I'm trying to shiny hunt something. But eventually, we're able to find a Panpour and put that on our team. And Panpour, we want to use more underrated Pokemon throughout this challenge for more of a balanced team. I really like the underrated Pokemon, especially with the Radical Red. They actually make the Pokemon way more useful. As we catch ourselves a Mienfoo, which not a lot of people really like Mienshao. I actually really love Mienshao, so we're gonna put that on the team as well. And then head into the forest, head into Verdant Forest, catch yourselves a Joltik in the daytime, and then face off against Brendan. Now, for such a long time, I forget how easy Brendan is. Like, not easy. Radical Red is a hard ROM hack, but just normally playing it is so much easier than playing hard. I feel like a lot of places in this game are much easier after going through such hellish environments in a Radical Red Hardcore mode that the regular Radical Red is actually just pretty simple. As we beat down Brendan with just our Joltik, which I sweep something with one Pokemon. That's not something normal you do in Radical Red Hardcore mode. But anyways, we're going to go into Pewter City and catch yourselves a Axew as well. Put that on the team as well as this Roggenrola in Diglett Cave. And then you could grind some money over here by getting the Meowths and thieving them, using our Panpour for that. And once we're done with that, getting infinite money and everything, we're going to face off against Brock in the first gym of the game. He's going to start off the battle using a Geodude. I'm going to start off the battle using my Axew, Breaking Swipe to lower his attack stat when he's using Self-Destruct. We live the Self-Destruct, but unfortunately go down to the Arcan. That's fine. We have a Roggenrola to Rock Blast and knock out the Arcan. And then we're going to sack the Arcan to the Onix. Luckily, we're not playing our nuzlocke, or this should be all gone by now. But we're going to send out our Panpour to Water Pulse, knock out the Onix and the Vulpix, and we get the first gym badge. Pretty easy, not going to lie. Now, after that, we're going to head into the next route right next to Mount Moon. Do a bit of training over here, and then head into Mount Moon itself. Now, at the Poke Center right outside of Mount Moon, we're able to get the Water Stone and put that on our Panpour. Now, when we have a Simipour and learn Scald, things are gonna get scary. Simipour has this ability called Sage Power, which is a special attack buff. Basically, is a choice spec that's an ability. So if I use Scald, it's basically a choice spec, and I have it for now, which is insane. We also catch this Drillbur at the end of Mount Moon, but as you can see, I'm wiping through Nugget Bridge, clearing through using Sage Power. When I get a choice spec, it is over. Think of it basically as Galarian Darmanitan with his Guerrilla Tactics on choice band. It is crazy. So it's gonna get a little crazy out here. As we also fight against Bugsy, which we haven't done in such a long time. We get the Tina for U-turn, which will be used for down the line. But from here, we're going to face off against the second gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Misty. Misty is going to be the water type gym leader. We're going to start the battle against her using our Joltik. We're going to Thunder Wave down her Floatzel in first turn, and then Mega Drain her Lantern. Pretty predictable. As we sack our Drillbur to the Scald and switch into our Mienfoo. Mienfoo is going to do a lot of damage, but it's also going to take a lot of damage. So we have to sack our Axew to get in our Mienfoo again to fake it out, do more chip damage, and unfortunately sack it. As well. Our Bodor, this is the 4th Pokemon coming out against this Lantern, but our Bodor will knock out the Lantern with a magnitude and then unfortunately go down to the Frogadier. This should be enough sacking since we send our Simipour to Scald, knock out the Floatzel, and then sending my Joltik to Mega Drain down the Floatzel. I'm actually able to 1v1 it as it switched out into a Starmie. I'm able to get a Thunder Wave off on it. It's going to knock me out, which is fine, but I've done so much chip damage on it that my Simipour can come out and basically knock it out for free. Scald down the Starmie and the Floatzel, and we're done with Misty. Next up, we're going to randomly encounter this Dynamax Raid Boss to Litwick, catch it, put it on our team. It'll be useful down the line. But from there, we're going to beat Brendan outside of Vermilion City, and then we can get the lucky eggs from him for free, which is nice to have. And we just randomly caught our Maractus. Now, no one likes Maractus. I understand it's the most forgettable Pokemon, whatever, right? But I just had this urge. I want to use Maractus at one point, because this, we're not trying to use the most overrated Pokemon when I can throw a Hydreigon in here. I understand I'm an extra Joe. I'll put that away eventually. I know I have an Axew that evolves into a Haxorus. I'll put that away as well. We'll talk about that in a little bit as we face off against Lieutenant Surge. And as you can see, we are putting down his Pincurchin with our Excadrill that we just talked about. Excadrill does a lot of damage against this team. As we switch out into our Axew against the Manectric, he's going to knock me out, which is fine, as he switches out into his Alolan Raichu. That easily gets me a free Sticky Web with my Galvantula as it switches out, and then some Bug on Bug. So my Bodor comes out, does not live any hits at all, so this might be an L. But luckily Excadrill can just crit it and knock him out using Rock Slide, and we're able to outspeed a Manectric, crit that thing as well. Bodo's knock him out, and also Bodo's the Bolton, and we beat Lieutenant Surge. I can see why this Excadrill might be a problem, so we're definitely going to switch it out eventually because it's kind of broken. But from there, we can go through Rock Tunnel, just clear through Rock Tunnel, training up our Pokemon pretty nicely. We're going to eventually evolve our Mienfoo into a Mienshao right here. I think they lowered the level for that, so that's kind of cool. At some point, I don't have the footage of it, but I caught the Minccino on my team and just training it up. It is a Generation 5 Pokemon. I evolve it at Saffron City into a Cinccino, and we have it on our team. As we face off against Erica, Erica's going to be the 4th gym leader of the game, and we're going to start the battle using our Galvantula against her. We're going to Sticky Web up right under the Rillaboom, as it's going to U-turn into a Sudowoodo. I know my Fracture could take a hit. Luckily, it avoided a Head Smash, and I get a Dragon Dance off on it, survive a Fire Punch, and I could Dragon Claw it, do a lot of chip damage, send out my Mienshao to Revenge Kill it, and then U-turn out against the Meganium. Switch into my Chandelier, which has Inferno as the strongest fire move, so of course I'm gonna risk it all. Inferno is 50%, it's working great. Knock out the Meganium and then knock out the Rillaboom for me too. It's only missed one Infernos for me, so that's great. Erica decided to switch out into her Venusaur. I decided to switch out into my Excadrill, which will do nothing. Well, actually, it actually lowers the speed, so I'm able to Thunder Wave it using my Galvantula, and then switch into my Cinccino to do a lot of chip damage. Nope, does not knock it out at all. So, sending my Chandelier, Inferno hits again, knocks him out, and a miracle happens. I hit another Inferno on the Superior, and it burns it, knocks him out, and we beat Erica somehow. We beat the 4th gym leader of the game with such amazing luck. From there, we're going to face off against Chug, beat Chug obviously with our Excadrill and our Fracture, But that is the end. That's the last battle we're gonna use Fracture and Extra on, because I just felt like it's kind of overused. You know, they're just so overpowered. I'm just gonna put them in the bag. We are going to pick up some new Pokemon. So first thing, when we go back into Mount Moon, we're going to get the Slugma. Slugma is obviously not a Gen 5 Pokemon, but they do have red shards that gives us starter eggs. We're gonna trade that in for some starter eggs, and we're gonna get a Tepig from it. We're gonna use an Emboar on our team, and as well a Maractus. I really want to use a Maractus. I just want an excuse to use one. And on our first showing with our new team, we actually did pretty well. We beat down Giovanni, as you can see in the background, which is pretty nice. Good showing on our first debut battle. And then we clutched things up against the Marowak. Luckily, Cincino was able to clutch things up against the Marowak, and we finished through Lavender Tower, and then we cleared through Silph, get all the items we want from here, and then face off against our rival, which we destroy, as you can see. Not an issue at all. And then face off against Archer and Ariana, which they both go down to my Emboar and my Simipour. And then face off against Giovanni once again at Silph. Lucky for us, Maractus actually does a lot of work against Giovanni somehow. We're able to Sucker Punch, knock out the Poti, guys, as you can see, and then we're able to 1v1 the Exegil. Even though it has a Sword Stance up, I'm able to Spiky Shield and then knock it out. Couldn't knock out the Kangaskhan, but my Emboar is in the back, which will one-shot the Kangaskhan, and we beat Giovanni. But after that, we're going to head into the gym in Saffron City, where Silph is. We're going to clear through the trainers in here and face off against the gym leader. Gym leader is Sabrina, and she wants a double battle fight. So I want to switch my ability on my Maractus into Grassy Surge. So I started the battle using my Galvantula and my Mienshao. I switch out my Galvantula into my Maractus, which has Grassy Surge. Take out the Hatterene, and then we could double attack the Hatterene with my Maractus and my Mienshao. This will lead into Hatterene going down, and the Indeedee doesn't do a lot of damage because it's not in terrain anymore. And we're able to switch into my Galvantula. Which will Bug Buzz down the Indeedee, and we're going to Sappy CA down the Conkeldurr, which actually leads a Leech Seed after a 90 power move, which is kind of broken if you think about it. I'm able to do a lot of chip damage against the Indeedee, but unfortunately my Galvantula will go down. I switch out into my Cincino next, which will knock out the Conkeldurr for us. We're going to double knock out the Indeedee and the Conkeldurr, and their next two Pokemon will be a Crawdon and a Porygon 2. I decided to double attack the Crawdon to knock it out for sure, because I know the Porygon 2 is going to set up a Trick Room for us anyway. So Crawdon goes down, and then the Mega Gardevoir comes out next. Unfortunately, it's going to knock out my Maractus, but we're able to knock it out using my Cincino, and we're just going to double target a Porygon 2. Then next up, we're going to head down into Cycling Road and head into Fuchsia City. Now once we're in Fuchsia City, we're going to get the Super Rod from this Fisherman, and then head into Vermilion City once again. We're going to go thiefing for some heart scales. Now, I wanted to keep Maractus on my team for the entire playthrough, because that would be kind of a funny meme. But more funnier than that, I found myself a shiny Alomomola. Now, I was not playing this at all. I was just going fishing for some heart scales, and we caught ourselves a shiny Pokemon. So I think it's a disservice, since it's also a Generation 5 Pokemon to begin with. I think it's a disservice if we don't use it. So I gotta sack Maractus. If Maractus wants another spotlight, find another way into my videos, but I really want to use this Alomomola because it's just randomly a shiny Pokemon on my team. After we beat Brendan, we're going to replace our Maractus with our Alomomola, and that is our team forever. That's our final team basically. As we face off against Koga next, luckily Alomomola is on my team. The Swallow is barely just not getting knocked out on my Alomomola, as we're able to Miracle knock out the Swallow, and then the Greninja. We're gonna start the Greninja, just using my Regenerator Pokemon. Just switch in between Dark Pulse and Surf, and we're able to just trick him. We're able to just slightly knock him down using his own Life Orb, which is kind of funny. And then it's gonna send out a Selgor next. I decided to sack my Mienshao and switch into my Galvantula, which will Thunder Wave to the Dragapult, and then Sticky Web under it, which allows my Simipour to comes out next to Ice Beam, knock out the Dragapult, and then Ice Beam freeze the Selgor, and then knock it out, and then the Drapion would knock me out. Switch into my Emboar to Flare Blitz twice to knock out the Drapion, and then a Toxicity comes out next. It actually still outspeeds me, so that's kind of a problem. So I gotta switch into my Cincino to Sing It. Luckily, Sing hits for once, and then we're able to Tail Slap, knock out the Toxicity, and we beat Koga. 6 gyms down, looking pretty good, as we face off against Price next. Price is going to give us the choice scarf once we beat him. We're going to make his Arctovish struggle to death, which is kind of a painful way to die, because the shiny Alomomolo does not want to die at all. And then from there, we're going to face off against Jasmine in Cinnabar Island, and we're going to beat her. That's all that she wrote. We got the choice band from her as well. And we're going to go back into this raid den over here. If you grind this raid den enough, there is a 5% chance, I think. About 5% chance you get a choice spec. So we're going to look for that. Luckily, after this, the den, we're able to get a choice specs from it. So pretty good raid den. And from there, we're going to face off against Blaine next. Blaine is going to be the 7th gym leader of the game. It's also the fire type gym leader. We're going to start the battle against him using our Simipour, which has the newly equipped choice specs, which will scald something. Unfortunately, it's going to switch out into its Sunflora, so I got to switch out into my Emboar to Flare Blitz, knock out the Sunflora. And then he's going to switch into his Typhlosion, so I'm going to switch into my priority hitter, which is my own Mienshao, and then High Jump Kick will knock him out. It's looking pretty nice. Next up, he's going to switch into his Torkoal. It's going to take a High Jump Kick and knock him out as he knocks me out using Explosion. It's tough. Bad trade, honestly. Switch into my Purple Fish. I couldn't really tell you why I stayed in for so long. Just end up sacking my Alomomola anyways. Switch into my Galvantula, get a Sticky Web up, do some chip damage, and then finally switch into my Simipour, which will Ice Beam, knock out a Venusaur. I gotta switch out into my Cinccino next. Luckily, I dodged the High Jump Kick, able to Tail Slap, knock out a Cinderace, and since I have a Choice Scarf on my Cinccino, sacking my Simipour is the only play here. Switch into my Cinccino to Rock Blast, and we beat Blaine. So we really outplayed everyone. I understand Sticky Web offense is, kind of cheap, kind of overused a lot, but it is fun to use. And just, not everyone used Galvantula in their runs. We also went out and caught ourselves a Terrakion to show Chuck to get a Focus Sash from him, obviously, just to go things. And from there, we can't actually go into the Ape Gym just yet. We have to go into Cerulean Cave to help out Brennan face off against Team Rocket, of course. Clearing through Cerulean Cave is not too much fun, as you would tell. But once we get to the end, we gotta face off against Ariana and Archer next. Clear through Archer pretty easily, but Ariana is a bit more difficult. Luckily for us, we have a Cinccino to knock him out, and we beat both of them. Back-to-back battles, and we're gonna face off against Giovanni next in the final climactic fight. All we gotta do is just hit him with a Flare Blitz from my Emboar, and that's about it. Honestly, that's entire battle. Nothing happened. Nothing interesting happened at all. I promise you. From there, we're gonna face off against the 8th gym leader of the game. We're gonna face off against Claire. We'll start the battle against her using our Galvantula. We're gonna get taunted by the Aerodactyl and both switch out into our Cinccino. Now Cinccino is gonna scare out the Aerodactyl into his Magnera. So I want to switch out into my Emboar, which they will double into a Naganadel, which I'll catch with an Earthquake. And we're already one Pokemon up against him. Since our Dragonite next, I just have to get a burn on it. Luckily, I do get a burn, a second try against the Dragonite, and we're able to 1v1 stall it, basically. And then eventually, once the Dragonite goes down, she can send out her Magnera next. Just sack my Alomomola. There's nothing else for it to do. Switch out into my Emboar. Flare Blitz will knock out the Magnera. And then Claire's can switch out to her own Dracovish. I'm like, hopefully Simipour can do something. It cannot. So I decided to switch out into my Cinccino. Does not knock him out, but puts him down to red HP, where Mienshao can finish him off. Aerodactyl comes out next. I decided to sack my Galvantula because he can't do too much. Just sack it and then switch it into my Emboar, which will knock him out using Flare Blitz. And then the Duraludon would knock me out, but luckily I have a Focus Sash on my Mienshao, so I can High Jump Kick and knock out the Duraludon. And we get the 8th gym badge of the game from Claire. Now next up, we gotta face off against our rival. Luckily, Alomomola is such a monster. It just takes all the hits from him. As the final Pokemon, it knocks out 3 Pokemon from Gary's team or Blue's team, and then we clear them through. Next up, we face off against Brendan in his final fight. He has a bunch of legendary Pokemon. Does not matter to me as we beat down his Jirachi and his entire team. Look at his Huntale, complete trash. Look at this. I'll outspeed, I still knock him out. Incredible. From there, we're gonna face through Victory Road, which is a bit more hard. There's a lot more trainer everywhere, but luckily we get through them. When you need a lot of healing items in your bags because you lose a lot of Pokemon, and healing is a long ways away Once we're done with that, we're going to put all our rare candies on our Pokemon from 85 to about 87. Because since it's not hardcore, they don't scale to your highest level, so it actually works out pretty fine. Next up, we're going to head into the Elite Four next. We're going to face off against Lorelei. We want Lorelei's Water Team, so we're going to restart until we get the Water Team. And we're going to Thunderbolt and Bullet Seed down the Poliwrath and the Politoed. We had double KO on our first turn, which is fantastic, as she sends out a Kyogre and Swampert next. I don't mind sacking my Galvantula as I'm able to knock out the Swampert. It's going to double KO me, it's fine, return the favor. But I'm still a Pokemon up against her. Switch out into my Emboar and my Mienshao. I'm going to fake out the Kingdra and then Hammer Arm. Since I have Bull Rush on my Emboar, will outspeed the Kyogre and knock it out in one shot. I know the Dragovich is going to get greedy, knock out my Emboar, so I want to High Jump Kick, knock out the Kingdra for us. Battle should be over. As soon as I get a burn on the Dragovich, it's over. Or I could just High Jump Kick it, but I get a burn on it and that should be the end of the battle. We beat Lorelei. Unfortunately, we press no on healing our Pokemon. We have to manually heal our Pokemon before the next fight. Speaking of the next fight, we got to face off against Bruno. Bruno is going to be the fighting type Elite Four member. We're going to start the battle using our Mienshao against him. We're going to fake him out and then High Jump Kick him. Does not knock him out as he U-turns into a Scizor, which I High Jump Kick, knock him out as well. I just U-turn against the Urshifu to knock him out. Switch out into my Alomomola. It's going to burn the Conqueror, and that's the end of the Conqueror. Once it gets low enough, I want to switch out to my Galvantula to get a sticky web up against him and switch into my Simipour to do some chip damage. Unfortunately, sack my Simipour. That's all fine. Galvantula will get killed, and then a Zacian comes out next. Emboar will Flare Blitz and knock out a Zacian for us, and then the Terrakion comes out next and then doubles into Lucario, which I'll Scald and I'll get a burn on. Unfortunately, the Aura Sphere will knock out my Alomomola, so I gotta play around the burn right here. Luckily enough, I do play around the burn pretty well, as you can see. Knock out the Lucario, and then the final Pokemon on his team will be the Terrakion. He's Choice Banded into Earthquake, so I am able to send in my Cinccino as a safe choice, and Bullet Seed will knock out the Terrakion, and we beat Bruno. Next up, we're going to face off against Agatha. We want to restart until we get the Gengar lead, the Zoroark lead, of course. When Tail Slap, knock out a Zoroark, and then she's going to switch out to her Marshmallow, which luckily our Alomomola can burn and Whirlpool. And it's just kind of a chaotic mess right here. Luckily, Marshmallow goes down pretty easily. And then she decided to switch out into her Mega Gengar. I want to keep up the pressure, so I want to switch out into my Simipour. Unfortunately, it will go down in one shot. Luckily, my Galvantula can live an attack, and Thunderbolt paralyzed the Gengar, so I can outspeed it. I decided to Sticky Whip up, sack my Galvantula, and then send in my Mienshao to knock it off. Knock out the Mega Gengar. Spectre comes out next. I'm going to knock off the Choice Scarf on a Spectre, which I can outspeed now and knock him out for sure. And then the Aegislash comes out next. Emboar survives anything. King Shield is broken, does not lower my attack stat, knock him out in one shot. The Silvally comes out next. I'm able to High Jump Kick it, finish the battle, and we beat Agatha as well. Next up, we're face off against Lance. Lance is going to be the Dragon type Elite Four member in the game. We're starting about using our classic Galvantula to Thunderbolt the Aerodactyl while it just taunts me for no reason. Survive the Stone Edge as I knock him out using Thunderbolt again. Dialga comes out next. Switch out into my Emboar, which will Hammer Arm, do about half to him. Switch out back into my Galvantula. Should have Sticky Web. I'm not too sure why I did that, but I guess there isn't too many options to Sticky Web, so that's fine. It's going to switch out to his Dragonite and his Dragovich. I'm just trying to get a burn. Luckily, I do get a burn against the Dragovich. Just took a little bit though. Before I'm able to knock him out, he's going to switch into his Dragonite, which I trap it with Whirlpool so I could Scald it. Unfortunately, I don't get a burn on the Dragonite on this one, which is tough. But I get him down to low HP, which I can switch out into my Cinccino to knock him out. Okay, he does not knock him out. I switch into my Simipour to knock him out at least. And then next up, Lance can switch out to his Melmetal. I want to High Jump Kick him, do as much damage as I can. High Jump Kick actually one-shots the Melmetal, which is funny. High Jump Kick also outspeeds and knock out the Dragovich as well. Unfortunately, Salamence will end that, but my Simipour can revenge Ice Beam, knock out the Salamence, and then Dialga will go to sleep. Lucky for us, Ice Beam does a lot of damage, and we just gotta do chip damage against him, as I gotta send in my Emboar next. Emboar will Hammer Arm, knock out the Dialga, and we beat Lance. Surprisingly, how that happened. Now after that, we're gonna face off against the champion of the game. We're gonna face off against Blue. Blue's gonna start the battle. We took a long time trying to figure out this tactic at all, So we're gonna start the battle against his Pheromosa using our Cincino. We want Tail Slap the Groudon that's gonna switch in first to get some chip damage off against him, and then switch into my Galvantula because it's always gonna Thunder Wave. Set up Sticky Web because this is my win con, and then it's gonna Fire Punch, knock me down to red HP so I could Bug Buzz, get more chip damage off on it. Switch into my Emboar, which will outspeed him using Bull Run, and then Earthquake will knock him out in one shot. Fantastic outplay, beautiful outplay. Blue's gonna switch out to Yveltal next, so I'm okay with that. Switch into my Simipour to Ice Beam to shot him. Unfortunately, he's gonna double into Metagross as I switch into my Alomomola. Luckily, I get a burn on him first try, so I could Wish Out without any problems at all. Luckily, he does not crit me, but this should be the end for my Alomomola. I don't need him right now. It's not my win con, so I'm gonna sack him to the Eternatus. Do some chip damage at least. Do a lot of chip damage actually. So I want to switch out. So I want to switch into my Simipour. Simipour, for your information, has a Choice Specs and Sage Power. So Ice Beam will one-shot the Eternatus as he switch out into his Darmanitan. I can't do too much here, so I'm gonna switch out into my Cincino. Luckily, Cincino will outspeed the Darmanitan, almost knock him out. Should use Rock Blast, but it's fine. I started sacking everything, so Simipour goes down as well, and now we're down to 2 Pokemon. Luckily for us, I can switch out into my Mienshao, which will Fake Out and then knock out the Darmanitan. Pheromosa comes out next. I want to U-turn the Pheromosa into my Emboar, can outspeed it and Flare Blitz him, and then Yveltal will one-shot me, and all I gotta do now is land some high jump kicks. So first one, I land a high jump kick and knock out the Yveltal, and then finally in the back is the Metagross, and I do land it, and we do beat the Metagross, and we do beat the champion, and we have beaten Pokemon Radical Red for the first time in a long while using only Unova Pokemon. So thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. This was fun to make. We also got sponsored by this video. I haven't played Radical Red in such a long time that it felt good to be back. I think the hardcore mode took the fun away from me, so I'm going to calm down on the hardcore mode. That does not mean I'm not going to do hardcore anymore. I just want to calm down on the hardcore mode and play some regular Radical Red, because this is the most fun ROM hack in the world. Cannot lie about that. I might say it's dead in the past, but it's actually fun to play. Like, being honest, who uses like a Maractus on a run? You know, no one uses a Maractus. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to leave a like, comment down below some challenge ideas just like this one, and subscribe if you guys are not already. It would really help my channel. And my name's been Alpha. Hope you guys all had a great day. I'm out. Peace.